Holla at your boy. This is Jimbo Stevens, and we're doing a fantasy football update. Finally, I'm here with my boy. This is the man himself, the whole effing podcast, Ray Van Dam. And there's been quite a talk about Sammy Watkins being traded. And dude, this is like the greatest opportunity we could talk about it, because I've said before in one of the fantasy football update videos that you can scratch Sammy Watkins off your board for going to the Rams. And you can safely do that now, because there's nobody on the Rams that's going to throw him the ball. A guy who has an 0-7 record as quarterback for his first 7 games in the NFL is not going to be the guy to toss Sammy Watkins and resurrect his career.
Yeah.
Absolutely
and
not.
He's 0-7, like, doing it badly. And I'm a Cal Berkeley fan, so Jared Goff was my guy, dude. So
I'm coming
to straight unbiased. Like, he hasn't looked good at all.
None
in the pros. Can he put it together? Maybe. We'll see. But starting off 0-7 like that is pretty bad. It's one thing to be 0-7, but if you're in the games or it's just your defense sucks or whatever. Like, I think Derek Carr was like 0-10. His rookie year until he finally won a game. But you could see that there were like games here or there where he was doing well.
And he made it competitive. Okay, yeah. He made it competitive. Jared Goff is not made. It's the equivalent of him just rolling over and dying and just taking it while somebody rapes him.
He's not even really like a streamer option or a bye week fill in right now. Like, he'll probably go undrafted or should go undrafted in most leagues, aside from like the deepest leagues, or 16 teams or something. And he's the starting quarterback, so you got to have him. But
you have no choice.
And
like even then,
10 or 12 team leagues, like
even then, you're probably safe starting Alex Smith over Jared Goff.
Yeah, and right now it's fantasy wise, you got to think about who would you rather have on your team, like Goff or Tyrod Taylor.
I have Tyrod
Taylor.
Yeah.
So he's going to, an inferior passing team at the moment.
Yeah.
Inferior quarterback.
Inferior offense. Inferior offensive coordinator. Inferior head coach.
Yeah.
He's the youngest head coach in the league. 31 years old.
Yeah.
That's not good. And this is the reason why we're discussing it, is because there are a lot of people out there in New York. There are a lot of people out there in LA, and we're talking about the networks that are telling you and they have their own fantasy football programs on those shows. Okay, I'm not going to mention any names like ESPN or NFL Network or anything like that. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you, these guys are going out there and telling you that Sammy Watkins is a great receiver. He's spectacular. He's the best thing since sliced bread. And the reason they're telling you this is because now he's on an LA team.
Yeah. And you're going from Buffalo, although it is in New York. Buffalo doesn't get the love from the East Coast media. It's almost like Buffalo's like the redheaded stepchild of the East Coast teams. Like,
yes.
Buffalo almost isn't even considered New York by a lot of people. It's like, you're more Canada
than anything else.
You're Canada. Like, go play, and they have played games in Canada.
Yeah, it's true.
They played home games in Canada.
Yeah.
So, and the East Coast media can be ruthless, especially New York.
Yes.
So they rightly so did rip on Sammy Watkins with his health issues.
Yeah.
And some things are unavoidable, I get that. And then some people just think he's not really tough enough,
Yeah. And so you have the media from all those sports shows coming down on Sammy Watkins and the Bills and things like that, and calling him out on all these issues that he has: inconsistency, injury, he's untrustworthy.
They say the best ability is availability.
And the thing is that now they're changing their tune. He's going from a team that was 7-9 to a team that is absolute shit, and they're stroking his dick so much.
Dude, the team was so awful. Like, LA just got a football team back. NFL is back in LA. Last year with the Rams. And they had games that didn't even sell out.
None.
Towards the end of the year. That's how bad it was.
None.
Of course, everyone was packed at the beginning of the year because football is back.
Football back, yeah.
But the team was so bad that people just stopped showing up.
They just gave up on
after a city that hadn't had football since was it when the Raiders left, like in '95 or something?
Was it the Raiders or when the Rams left?
I think I'm trying to remember who left first.
I think the Raiders left first and the Rams left second.
I remember the Raiders moved to Oakland in '95. Either way, though, they're pretty close to each other, so it's been like 20 years.
20 years almost. Let's say 20 years, okay? So now the media is excited that they have someone that they can look for as hope to rebuild LA sports teams. And the problem is that the media has ripped on Sammy Watkins, and then now that he's changed, all this money, all this cash is flowing over to Sammy Watkins' side. Not him personally, but the fact that the media can talk about him and say, oh, here's this, and they're calling him great, they're calling him sensational, they're calling him an improvement. All these things that they're saying that's the exact opposite of what they said last week. We're talking about a week ago. A week ago.
Yeah.
And then now they're changing their tune, being complete hypocrites, contradicting everything that they've been saying before.
I would say a week ago, probably the argument was, I didn't think this would be like a great argument, who will finish with more catches, Sammy Watkins or Zay Jones? And you'd be like, ooh, okay, Zay Jones is like one of the top rookie receivers and coming out this year. Sammy Watkins, has been in the league a few years. And like, but I could see Sammy Watkins missing games. And if you had to bet, I would probably pick Zay Jones. Say they were both still in Buffalo. Zay Jones is legit. In my opinion, he's probably going to be legit. We don't know yet because this is his rookie year. But Sammy Watkins might not. He could miss half the year from a hamstring or foot or whatever.
And that's the thing is, like, you see someone like Zay Jones, he hasn't proven anything. But on the same token, Sammy Watkins hasn't proven anything either. So
he's been given opportunity to prove.
And that's the thing. The only thing that he's shown is that he's failed year in and year out. Now, a lot of people are going to make that argument, but listen to what you're saying. Listen to what you're telling the world. You're going from saying he's terrible and then going to a terrible team and then calling him great just because he's on a terrible team. Makes absolutely no sense. That's why we exist, to debunk these motherfuckers, because these motherfuckers will tell you and give you the wrong information, because all they give a shit about is you watching their show and making as much cash as possible for the highlighted teams that come from LA and New York or the Tom Brady's, and they just care about this all over their face. That's all they give a fuck about. Us, we're going to give it to you like it is. We're going to tell you, scratch Sammy Watkins off your board. Fuck that motherfucker and scratch him off your board.
Because you'll probably end up cutting him by week 5 or 6 anyways, when you get the report, he's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks with a hamstring injury
or a fucking toenail injury.
Yeah.
Ingrown toenail or some bullshit like that. I've been Jimbo Stevens. This has been the whole effing podcast, Ray Van Dam. We're telling it to you like it is. We're telling you the goddamn 100% truth. We're keeping it real. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts about all these fake-ass sports newscast shows, all these fake-ass... And I'm telling you, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus like ESPN or NFL Network. I'm not going to throw them under the bus and tell you that they're shit. But all these sports shows are shit. Don't follow them. Don't watch them. Don't do none of that, because we're going to give it to you like it is. We're going to give you straight up. If a guy sucks, we're going to tell you that motherfucker sucks.